Sarasota gets a lot more fun when you stop cramming everything into one beach trip and give each day its own vibe. This video takes you through Selby Gardens, Siesta Beach, and the Ringling without making the trip feel rushed. If it's your first time, relax. The city starts to make sense once you split it between downtown bayfront time, island time, and one bigger culture day. Stay in downtown Sarasota if you want the easiest all-around base, or stay around Siesta Key Village and Beach Road if being close to the sand matters more. Stick around till the end because there's a great timing tip at the end that can save you from the worst crowd pressure. Day 1. Selby, the Bayfront, and a downtown start that sets up the whole trip. The first day should make Sarasota feel simple. You're not trying to rush straight into the biggest beach scene or cram every headline stop into one long blur. You just want a clean start that helps the city click. Start with breakfast at Project Coffee downtown. It keeps the morning easy and puts you close to everything that matters today. Grab coffee, get something solid to eat, and move on before the morning turns into a whole event. That's the right tone for day 1. Light, easy, and close to the action. Then make Marie Selby Botanical Gardens your first real stop. It's a great opener because it gives you greenery, water, and a proper sense of place right away. The downtown campus covers 15 acres, so there's enough room to wander without feeling like you're committing the whole day to one stop. Walk through the gardens, take your time near the bay, and let the trip settle in a little. Sarasota has a polished side, but Selby keeps it from feeling stiff. It's pretty without trying too hard, and it gives the city a personality beyond beach photos and sunset plans. Selby also helps with something practical. After you spend time there, downtown starts making sense. You get a feel for where the bay sits, where the walkable pockets are, and how close some of these stops really are to each other. That matters more than people think. A lot of first-time trips go sideways because the place still feels abstract on day 1. This stop fixes that early. When you leave the gardens, keep the middle of the day tied to the waterfront instead of bouncing around in the car. Bayfront Park fits naturally next. It gives you a looser stretch after the more curated garden setting, and it's a good place to slow down without killing your momentum. Just walk it. Look out over the water. Let Sarasota show itself without forcing a big moment every 15 minutes. From there, keep drifting toward the bay. This part of the waterfront opens things up and gives downtown a little more breathing room. You don't have to treat it like a box to tick, use it as part of the flow of the day. Walk a little more, sit for a bit if you want, and enjoy the fact that Sarasota can feel open without ever becoming exhausting. That's one of the city's better qualities. You can cover real ground here without the day getting heavy. The easiest friction saver on day 1 is simple. If you drove in, park in a downtown garage and leave the car there for most of the day. Downtown rewards that. Once you stop doing tiny little relocations because another block looks slightly better, the whole area feels more connected and less annoying. By mid-afternoon, let the day loosen up a bit around Main Street and Palm Avenue. This is a good time to cool off, wander through the downtown core, and let the trip breathe. You don't need another major stop here. In fact, forcing one usually makes the day worse. Sarasota downtown has enough polish and enough life on its own. The point is to enjoy it, not overwork it. For dinner, keep it downtown and head to Owen's Fish Camp in Burns Court. It gives the night a little character without making the evening feel overplanned. After a day built around gardens, waterfront walking, and getting your bearings, that's exactly what you want. Somewhere with personality, somewhere that still feels local, and somewhere that doesn't ask you to turn dinner into a performance. If you still have some energy after that, take one short walk by the bay before heading back. Keep it simple. Day 1 should end with you feeling like Sarasota makes sense now. That's the whole win. Tomorrow gets lighter, beachier, and more social. And it works better because today stayed grounded. Day 2. Lido Beach, St. Armand's, and the lighter island day. Day 2 should feel easier from the start. You already got the downtown layout yesterday, so now you can move out toward the islands without feeling like you're guessing your way through it. Start with breakfast at C'est La Vie downtown. It's central, easy, and a good launch point before you head over toward Lido. This is not the morning for a giant breakfast that slows you down. Coffee, something you'll enjoy, and a smooth start is more than enough. After breakfast, use the bay runner if you can. This is the day it makes the most sense. You don't have to think about where to leave the car, you don't have to keep checking the time on a meter, and the route stays neat. If you'd rather drive, that's still fine, especially if you want more freedom later, but the bay runner version of today usually feels less fussy. Make Lido Beach the first real stop and give it the better part of the morning. Lido is the beach day that feels easy to manage. It doesn't ask you to treat the whole day like a mission, and that's exactly why it belongs here. Walk down to the water, settle in for a bit, and enjoy the fact that the beach part of the day can just be the beach part of the day. No huge strategy, no need to act like you have to squeeze a life-changing memory out of the first hour. Lido also gives you a different kind of island mood than Siesta. It feels a little tidier, a little lower pressure, and a lot easier to pair with what comes next. That's important. Day 2 should not feel like Day 3 arriving early. It should feel like its own thing. Once late morning starts sliding toward midday, move over towards St. Armand's Circle and let the day change pace. This is where people either get stuck too long or rush through it like they're trying to prove they're above shopping districts. Neither one helps. The better move is to use St. Armand's as a reset. Get out of the sun for a while, walk the circle, sit down somewhere shady if you need to, browse a little if something actually catches your eye. The area has enough charm to carry part of the day, but it only works when you stop trying to force a big event out of it. There's also enough history in the place to give it shape without turning the afternoon into a lecture. You can feel that this was built with a certain kind of old Sarasota ambition in mind. The curves of the circle, the slightly dressed-up look, the way it all comes together. It gives the area some personality beyond just stores and restaurants. If you want one more outdoor piece before dinner, head down toward the South Lido side and spend some time near Ted Sperling Nature Park. Even a shorter visit helps. It gives the day a softer edge, changes the scenery, and keeps the afternoon from turning into a loop of beach, lunch, and strolling the circle. That little change matters. It's what makes Day 2 feel breezy instead of repetitive. The main trip-saving move today is timing. Do the beach first, then shift away from it before the middle of the day gets too sticky and crowded. Lido is much more enjoyable when you let the morning do the heavy lifting. By the time the heat builds, you're already ready for a different pace. Also, keep that timing tip in the back of your mind. Sarasota can feel very different depending on when you visit, and island days are usually where you notice it first. For dinner, stay on St. Armand's and go to Columbia. It fits the flow of the day, keeps you in the same part of town, and gives the evening a nice close without making you chase one more big reservation somewhere else. That's the right call here. Day 2 is better when it stays smooth all the way through. After dinner, take a short walk around the circle or head back with a little sea air still hanging around and call it a night. This day should end feeling easy. Not empty, not lazy, just easy in a way that makes the whole trip feel under control. Day 3, Siesta Beach, a smarter beach plan, and an island day that doesn't flatten out. This is the big beach day, which is exactly why it needs a little structure. Siesta is not the part of the trip where you want to drift in late, circle for parking, and start getting annoyed before the beach even begins. Start early and get breakfast at Sun Garden Cafe on the Key. It's a good choice for this day because once you're there, you can stay there. You're not bouncing back toward the mainland for no reason, and you're not wasting the first good part of the morning on random detours. Eat, get your coffee, and move straight into the beach plan. Then head to Siesta Beach and do it properly. The main public beach and pavilion area has 976 parking spaces, which sounds generous until you remember how many people are aiming for the same place. That number matters for one reason only. Go early enough that parking still feels normal. If you get there while the day still has some breathing room, everything after that goes smoother. If you show up late and hope for a miracle, the beach can start feeling like work before you even hit the sand. Once you're there, let this be the day where the beach actually gets time. Stay long enough to swim, walk, sit, and settle into it. Siesta is the stop in this itinerary that earns a fuller block of the day, and that's why it comes here instead of Day 1. By now, you know the area better, you've already had your lighter island day, and you can give this one the attention it needs without feeling like the whole trip is tipping over into one long beach stretch. The thing that keeps day 3 strong is what happens after the first beach block. You need a second act, but you don't need to overcomplicate it. If you want something livelier, head into Siesta Key Village for a reset. Grab a drink, cool off, walk around, and enjoy a little change in rhythm. If you want something quieter, shift south toward Crescent Beach and the Point of Rock side. That gives the day a different texture and keeps the island from feeling one note. There's also a smart backup built into this day if the main beach starts feeling too crowded, too hot, or just too much. Go to Turtle Beach. That's it. You don't need to make a big story out of it. Real trips go better when you have one good backup and use it before you're already in a bad mood. That's what Turtle Beach is for here. It's the pressure release option. If you don't want to keep moving the car, this is also the day the free 77 Siesta Islander earns its place. It runs daily from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., and on a busy island day, that kind of simple help can save your patience fast. This is especially useful if you want to split your time between the beach and the village without turning the afternoon into a parking game. If your trip lines up with the Sunday and you still have energy late in the day, the drum circle can be a fun extra. Keep the word extra in mind. The day should already work without it, and that's the whole point of building the route this way. This is also where that secret tip really matters. The season you pick changes everything on a day like this. The same beach can feel easy and fun or crowded and irritating depending on when you come. For dinner, go to Spearfish Grill. After a long beach day, the marina side setting helps because it changes the mood without making the evening feel formal. You're still on the key, but you're out of the main beach flow, and that little shift makes the night land better. After dinner, keep the ending simple. One short walk if you want it, one last look at the water, and then call it. Day 3 should feel full, but it should not leave you cooked. You still want enough energy left to enjoy the last day properly. Day 4, the Ringling, the grounds, and a final day that actually feels different. The last day should not try to repeat the beach highs. Sarasota has one more side to show you and it needs a little room. This is the culture day, but it shouldn't feel heavy or overly serious. It should feel like the trip opening up one last time. Start with breakfast at Station 400. It's a practical pick for this part of town and a good way to begin the day without making breakfast the event. By day 4, that's the right move. You want to eat well, get moving, and leave plenty of room for the main stop. Then give the Ringling the time it deserves. The estate covers 66 acres, and that tells you almost everything you need to know before you even walk in. This is not a quick museum stop you squeeze into a leftover afternoon. It needs its own day, and once you accept that, the whole experience gets better. The best way to handle the Ringling is to stop thinking like you need to race through the property and start thinking about flow. Move through the Museum of Art while your attention is still fresh. Spend real time in the Circus Museum because this is one of the places where Sarasota feels most specific to itself. Then get back outside and let the Bayfront Gardens slow the pace down. They do more than connect one building to another. They give the estate air, space, and a sense of rhythm. When you reach Ca d'Azan, don't treat it like a quick photo stop and move on. Let it be part of the day, not just part of the camera roll. What makes this final day satisfying is the room between things. You're not racing toward a dinner reservation across town. You're not trying to cram in another beach session just because it's Florida. You're letting one major place carry the day. And the Ringling is strong enough to do that. That's the real friction saver here. Don't underbook the estate. It'll take longer than people expect, not because it drags, but because every section pulls you in a little more than planned. This is also why the trip ends here instead of starting here. By now, you've already seen Sarasota from the downtown Bayfront side, the lighter Lido side, and the fuller Siesta side. The Ringling lands better when the city already has some shape in your head. It stops feeling like a random museum stop and starts feeling tied to the rest of the place. If you need a weather backup, or you're traveling with someone who wants a more family-friendly branch, Moat C is the only add-on worth mentioning. But keep it as a swap, not an extra thing you pile on top. Day 4 is strongest when it stays roomy. For dinner, finish at Indigenous. It gives the trip a more local last meal and avoids that forced final night energy people sometimes chase on vacation. You don't need some giant spectacle to close out Sarasota. You just need somewhere that feels thoughtfully chosen. And this does. After dinner, keep the final moment small. Maybe one last walk downtown. Maybe one more pause by the water. Maybe nothing at all except heading back and letting the trip end cleanly. That's enough. Sarasota doesn't need a big encore after 4 solid days. Late spring and fall are the easiest windows for this trip. You still get warm weather, beach days still feel like beach days, and the whole city is a little less squeezed. Late April into May is a very good bet, and fall is another smart choice before the holiday rush builds. That matters most on the island days because lighter crowds make parking, beach time, and bridge traffic a lot less annoying. Sarasota can still be a good trip at other times, but if you have a choice, those seasons usually give you the smoother version of the same vacation. And for a place with beaches this popular, that's a real advantage.